The slimmed-down coronation of King Charles III is expected to take place next spring, the Sun can reveal. A date in May or June at Westminster Abbey has already been penciled in. Next June marks the 70th anniversary of the coronation of the King's beloved mother, the Queen, who was laid to rest on Monday. Tired Charles has flown to the Scottish Highlands to recuperate and grieve after laying his mother to rest. But just 48 hours after the Queen's emotional state funeral, planning has already begun for the nation's first coronation ceremony in 70 years. The service, which sources say will be shorter, smaller and less expensive than the Queen's coronation in 1953, will not take place before the end of this year. And it is understood Charles could be crowned in May or June, depending on world events. Read more on the Queen's death. Time to rest. Charles flies to Scotland after tearfully burying Queen in private service. Royal protection. Meghan said attention on Archie was barbaric and Harry became obsessed. There is also a chance it could fall on Friday, June 2nd, the same date Queen Elizabeth II was crowned in 1953. A source said, "There is no rush for the coronation and there is an awful lot of planning that needs to be done. But it will be in May or June depending on what is going on in the world." It potentially could happen on the anniversary of the Queen's coronation on June 2nd, that is one thing that is naturally considered. While the family remains in official royal mourning until next Monday, nothing will be finalized very soon. But everyone is aware that it must happen next year and May or June is the preferred time. Most read in the Sun Bank or Bust Bank of England steps in to save Brits' pensions with dramatic intervention. Jungle Ready Fulham. A celebrity all-stars lineup including soap icons and reality TV stars orders Wetherspoons to sell 32 pubs as it faces £30 million losses. Is your local for sale? Scott to be love. England ace Alex Scott fell madly and deeply in love with Kelly Smith. Charles has long made clear his wishes for a slimmed-down monarchy and it's understood his coronation would be a reflection of that. It's also believed the cost of living crisis would be factored in when planning the service. One royal source, The Mirror: the King is very aware of the struggles felt by modern Britain, so we'll see his wishes carried through that. Although his coronation ceremony should stay right and true to the long-held traditions of the past, it should also be representative of a monarchy in a modern world. The King has long been an advocate of a streamlined or slimmed-down monarchy, and this project could certainly be said to fit with his vision. Following Monday evening's private burial service for his mother, Charles spent the night at Windsor Castle. He left yesterday and flew with Queen Consort Camilla to his Scottish retreat Balmoral. Sources close to the King say the past 11 days have been difficult for him as he is still grieving and feeling tired. A source said, "Balmoral is a place where the King can see his family and at the same time read his red government boxes. It is a place where he can recuperate and get on with state business." This is exactly what the Queen Consort said Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II liked to do when she gave her tribute. No formal engagements will take place during this period of royal mourning, which will last until Monday. Charles is expected to resume his first major British engagements next month. His first trip abroad as king will be in Europe this autumn. Designated bank holiday. Charles became king when his mother died on September 8 and formally acceded to the throne at a ceremony held 2 days later at St James's Palace in London. At 73 years old, he is the oldest king to ascend to the British throne, beating King William IV, who was 64 when he took the crown in 1830. When he is eventually crowned next year, Charles will be 74. It is believed Charles has always advocated a smaller coronation ceremony than his mother, as he embarks on his long-held plan for a slimmed-down monarchy. The event, which is steeped in more than 1,000 years of royal history, will be held at Westminster Abbey led by the Archbishop of Canterbury Justin Welby. The Queen acceded to the throne in February 1952 when her father King George VI died at Sandringham. The then Princess Elizabeth was in Kenya at the time. Her coronation ceremony was 16 months later, but they are usually held within a year of accession. For the coronation of Charles, early April next year is expected to be ruled out, as that is when Easter falls, and it is believed family members may be expected to take part in official royal tours during the holiday. But whenever it falls, Brits will get an extra day off work because, like the Queen's funeral, it is a state event. It opens the possibility that Friday, June 2nd could be designated a bank holiday to allow for a long weekend. The Queen's coronation was a bank holiday even though it fell on a Tuesday. It was estimated to have cost £1.57 million, around £45 million in today's money. But sources believe Charles's ceremony will be shorter, smaller and less expensive than his mother's. And Charles has previously indicated it will also be representative of different faiths and communities, reflecting Britain's ethnic and religious diversity. Every king and queen since William the Conqueror in 1066 has been crowned at Westminster Abbey in a service led by the serving Archbishop of Canterbury. Earl Marshal the Duke of Norfolk will have overall responsibility for the event after arranging Monday's funeral. Charles is expected to travel from Buckingham Palace to the Abbey in the Gold State Coach. Read more on The Sun. Out of line. Watch the moment Holly and Phil jump the huge queue to see the Queen's coffin. Family ties. William and Harry have a forgotten stepsister and she was at the Queen's funeral. He will be coronated with the St. Edward's crown, the centerpiece of the crown jewels. Last night, a spokesman for Charles said, "The king is not thinking about the coronation right now as it is a long way in the distance and he is concentrating on what he is doing now during this royal mourning period."